Please, man.
Sad, isn't it? This is the reality for most teens. They push their loved ones away in fear of getting hurt again.
People don't know the amount of stress teens are under. Here are some of the things that teens worry about on a daily basis. Mental health disorders, family issues, peer pressure, bullying, academic problems, social media influence, and financial issues and problems.
Approximately 1 in 5 teens ages 12 to 18 suffer from at least one mental health disorder. This means that mental disorders in teens are not uncommon. Teens mainly suffer from anxiety.
Depression.
I have anxiety and it causes me to worry about things that I shouldn't worry about. Like sometimes certain things will keep me up at night, or for example, on the way to soccer games or soccer tournaments, sometimes we have to pull over so I can check if I have everything when I know that I already do. But I just have to check because my anxiety will keep me from believing myself.
Bipolar disorder, PTSD, and depression.
They can make one more closed off and may lead to alienation. Bipolar disorder is described as having extreme highs and lows. The highs, known as mania, can have symptoms like becoming more impulsive, sudden changes in attitude like being happy one moment and irritable the next, restlessness, and requiring less sleep. One could also experience delusions and hallucinations. The lows are known as depressive episodes. During the depressive episodes, one may have
hopelessness and lack of motivation and thoughts of suicide, as well as increased sadness.
Possibly even attempts. According to the National Institute of Mental Health, an estimated 2.9% of adolescents experience bipolar disorder. Depression is like bipolar disorder, only one does not experience periods of mania. Teens with depression often lose interest in the things they used to do for fun, or they'll lose motivation to do their schoolwork and stop seeing friends. The loss of motivation makes it difficult to focus on tasks, causing one's grades to drop, possibly furthering the depression. Teenagers are more likely to be diagnosed with depression rather than bipolar disorder.
More adolescents have been diagnosed with depression as time goes on. It's very common.
28% of teenagers have reported issues with their family life.
This may be because of a generational difference as well as cultural differences. Teens with a lack of parental figures often lack guidance and think of adults as phony.
Do you know any fake people, and how do they make you feel as a person?
I know fake people, and it used to make me sad that they were fake, but now I am just less surprised by every time I find out that someone's fake, and I'm not as surprised, and
Depending on the group of friends,
I just accept it and just move on with my life.
So their friends wanted them to buy something, except this individual may be suffering from certain financial issues and can't afford nice things.
Teens with mental disorders are often prone to drinking from peer pressure, as well as drugs.
Have you ever experienced bullying?
Yes.
How did these bullies make you feel?
They made me feel like I wasn't good enough and that I should be somebody else.
How have they affected who you are today?
Now I don't really care about it because I just use it as motivation to be a better person and all that.
Teens experience so many problems and disorders, mainly due to social media. In this day and age, teenagers are on their phone a lot, mainly to communicate with friends and other long-distance relatives. Social media apps are used to communicate with these friends and meet new people. But sometimes social media causes teens to feel bad about themselves in their own lives. Most people on Instagram or Snapchat are celebrities or fashion models showing off their beauty and wealth. This makes teens subconscious of their own body setting extremely high standards for themselves.
Teens may experience depression or low self-esteem issues because of these high standards.
Growing up is extremely hard, especially when you're a teenager. Your body is constantly changing, and your moods become irrational and crazy, and sometimes you overreact over little things. Now you have to deal with school and thinking about your future.
What is the most painful thing about growing up?
The most painful thing about growing up is just, for me, it must be like letting go of the things I can do as a child, or the things that I did as a child. Those things I can't really do anymore because I'm
Nearly 7 in 100,000 teenagers aged 15 to 19 pass away due to suicide each year.
How does this relate to Catcher in the Rye? Holton from Catcher in the Rye experiences bipolar disorder, depression, and anxiety in certain points of the book. He is anxious about seeing his friends grow up and become new people, and he's depressed about being alone and having low self-esteem and the loss of his brother Allie, as well as the disconnection with his family members. Holden later in the book starts to have delusions and manic episodes regarding his brother Allie. When he is walking down the street, he tells his brother that he doesn't want to disappear constantly. He keeps thinking he's going to die while he's walking down the road. This is mainly due to his depression overcoming him and him becoming somebody he doesn't recognize over time. These are all symptoms of bipolar disorder and depression. He has been experiencing anxiety as well regarding his grades and parents. Due to his PTSD, he often pushes people away and tries to make them hate him so he doesn't get hurt again. This makes him isolate himself from others and causes him to have low self-esteem and low friends. He's very lonely throughout the book. He often asks people he doesn't even like or know, like random taxi drivers, to get a drink with him or to hang out with him just because he's lonely. And when he's lonely, he has these suicidal thoughts. Due to him being scared and having PTSD, he often makes the people he hangs out with hate him soon after hanging out with him, like he does with Sally Hayes, creeping her out and telling her how he wants to spend the rest of her life with her. Holden, like most teens, doesn't like growing up. Growing up has always been hard for Holden because that means he actually has to become adult and take responsibility, which is hard for him. This means that when he actually is facing challenges, he is often scared and angry at the world because he's running away from his problems at the same time. He doesn't like the idea of growing up and becoming a phony, as he would call it. Phoniness of the adult world comes up very often in the book. Something he doesn't understand is automatically phony, like the word grand or the way certain people live their own lives, lifestyle-wise, as well as romantic comedies. Because he's never experienced love, he doesn't understand it, which makes it phony. Anything he doesn't understand, as stated previously, he believes is phony, just because he'll never comprehend it and he's never lived or experienced anything like it. Holden also has a very bad relationship with his parents. As you can tell in the book, he doesn't really have a good father figure. Catcher in the Rye symbol is very common in the Catcher in the Rye book. Holden wants to protect the children's innocence and feels like by the FUs run around the school and the museum he can't. There are tons of rehabilitation centers that will help you and will get you help. You can call hotlines, especially the suicide hotline, and any other hotlines that may help teens with depression. You can also seek counseling and a psychiatrist.